Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we are going to talk about how you can leverage content marketing when you suck at writing. So first and foremost, when we talk about content marketing, we're not necessarily saying blogging, but most people, or a lot of people at least, when they think about content marketing, it has to do with writing. So what I like to say is, just because you're not good at writing, it's okay. Everyone starts with a foundation. So the example I've used in the past is someone like Chalene Johnson. Maybe she doesn't like to write. Her format might be she starts with Facebook Live first, and then it goes into separate videos, and then it goes into blog posts, and then it goes into social media. So think about what you're good at first. You start with your content foundation is what I'm calling it right now, and then you can build off of that, and maybe that includes writing in the future. So here's an example. Us doing this podcast right now, let's say hypothetically Neil and I don't like writing. I think both of us actually do like writing. So, we enjoy writing at the very least. So we can start with this podcast first. And here's the thing. We have this podcast transcribed by a service called Rev. That's rev.com. We use their API. And then we also have show notes for this podcast as well. And so we're talking right now, but we also get text, and that goes to the web. Text goes to the web. Great. Well, now things are being written without us having to write a single word.
If you suck at writing, but you have thoughts on what you want out there in text, go to jobs.problogger.net and hire a writer. For $100 to $200, you can find an amazing writer and give them these requirements. One, they have to write in a conversational tone, using the words you and I. By doing that, it seems more like a conversation versus a teacher just lecturing a student and the student falling asleep. The second thing they need to do is use short and to the point paragraphs. You don't want 7, 8, 10 sentence paragraphs. 4 or 5 word or 4 or 5 line paragraphs are enough. This makes it easier to skim. 3, they need to use subheadings. Think of it as a book. People want to skim things. By using subheadings, it makes it easier for them to skim. The next, they need to do an intro and a conclusion. You want to start off the intro with a hook, and a conclusion should wrap up the whole purpose of the post and what they should have learned. What you'll find is, and we've done a lot of studies on blog posts with scroll maps and heat maps, people in many cases read the headline, scroll all the way down to the conclusion, read that, and then scroll back up, assuming they want to read the rest. Last but not least, they need to focus on the headline. If they focus on the headline, no matter how crappy the content is, you'll get some reads. On the flip side, if your content's amazing and your headline sucks, you won't get any reads. And I'm not saying you should create junk content, but you need awesome content as well as an amazing headline. If you don't know how to create one, you can go to BuzzSumo, type in keywords within your industry. You'll see what's hot based on social shares. You can go to Copyblogger, look up their headline formulas, and that'll also give you ideas of how you can write some awesome headlines. Now that you found your writer, and hopefully they have industry experience, you can find tons of these people at ProBlogger. You want to then get on the phone with them and give them overview of what you want written. Have them outline it with your main points, assuming the outline looks good. Then have them write the introduction and conclusion, assuming that looks good. Have them fill in the rest of the post. You can add in pictures yourself, or you can have them add in the pictures. You can pay them or have someone else upload it into WordPress, and then you can schedule it to go live and then do the promotions. It really is that simple. You don't have to be an amazing writer. You just have to be able to communicate with someone who is a good writer. And if you give them my rubric, they'll do well.
Yeah, and there's a ton of people out there that do this. Think about it this way. Gary Vee for sure is not a writer. I've never actually seen him. I know for his books at least, and I think, Neil, you probably know this too. He's not actually writing the books on his own, but he's actually, like Neil's mentioning, communicating or delegating kind of his vision for these other projects. So if you go to GaryVaynerchuk.com, I believe that everything that he has on his blog is written by somebody else. And I know that even the stuff that we have, we've talked about the concept of repurposing. So there's a lot of written content out there from Neil and myself, and somebody reached out to me recently saying, hey, Eric, I'd like to repurpose your stuff on Quora. And they actually do a fairly good job of rewriting content to the native format of Quora to where the readers would actually appreciate it. And you just have these people helping you. And the other thing is, if you're producing content, I've talked about this in the past, use the content reusage workflow. Google the content reusage workflow. That's from Aleda Solis. She's an international SEO. She's great. Use that as a framework and then tie that in with the framework that Neil just gave you, and you'll do fine. Just make sure that you're constantly getting better. I'm hoping that if you're constantly doing it, that you're at least getting better. And then from there, you're going to start to see the traffic build. Yes, it's going to take time. Neil and I always talk about content marketing being a 12 to 18-month journey to even start to get it to see results.
If you suck at writing and you don't have money either, because a pro blogger job or tip won't work for everyone, just go out there and write. Use a framework that I mentioned. As you write, you'll get better at it. When I first started writing, my blog posts sucked. But after doing it for years, I got good at it and people read my content. I have terrible grammar as well. If any of you guys are subscribed to my email news list, you'll notice that when I do blast out, I'll use the wrong spelling of words.
I thought you do that on purpose.
Yeah, I wish I did on purpose. But a good example of this is I misspelled peak the other day, and I used the wrong version of peak, like a mountaintop peak instead. And people emailed me back saying, "Hey Neil, this is the wrong version of peak." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, sorry about that." I still keep doing it. It's okay if you're not that great. If the information that you're providing is amazing and digestible, and people are like, "Oh wow, I learned something new," they'll forgive your terrible writing.
I actually like it. I think it's good. This is a sidebar, but I like the unintentional engagement that it causes. So I always thought it was a genius marketing tactic by Neil, but now you know the truth. But hey, it still works. So that's it for today. But before we go to singlegrain.com/giveaway for our marketing goodies, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.